comments as the chairman. Again, I thank you all for being here. Thank you. My name is Ken Jones, the chairman of the School for the Deaf Board of Directors. I just want to say a few comments that I really welcome all of you here who attended this, and giving you a chance to see what we do, hear some of the issues we're facing, and let you know that we have a board up here of people who are really dedicated to the School for the Deaf and for the children and the parents of the children who bring their kids here. We have a lot to do. We've made some significant progress over the last few months, and we continue to be on that path. I think we have good leadership to do this. We have good legal service, and we have good staff at the school, but there's always ways to make things better as well. So please be patient with us as we walk through this process, because as a board, we've only been in about a year and a half in existence, right? Yeah, about a year and a half we've been here. So, all right. So we'll start with
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
motion that we approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a second? Any further comments? All in favor? All right. Motion carries. We'll start with the roll call. Ken Jones.
Here.
Rob Boyette, Ms. Goldman, Ms. Sharon Lott. Here. I'm here. Moving on, minutes of the October 15th meeting, 2025. Any comments before we call for approval?
Mr. Chairman, Gary speaking. I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Move to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a second? Yes, second. Comments?
Cheryl Iannucci speaking. We had a lot to celebrate this season, and basically my celebration list started getting too long, so I had to stop and put it under some other issues. But the state of North Carolina had a career expo on Monday, and Simone, the HR director, and myself attended. There were 3,000 participants and job candidates there. So we were able to talk to a lot of different people in different fields, as well as some that had deaf relatives that came up and just expressed some interest in the school. So we collected 45 resumes and spoke to about 75 candidates, all in all. There was a lot of interest expressed about the school, so it was really exciting. We talked to some people from Rocky Mount and Wilson. Some knew about us previously and some did not. So it was a great opportunity to just put ENCSD out there, and hopefully we'll get some good candidates out of it as well. Last week, or for October 31st, we had our Halloween celebration, and our Hive Builders Committee put on a great Halloween celebration. We had trunk or treat. We had board members participating in our trunk or treat. Our staff members, our attorney came and represented as well. And the students just had a wonderful time. I'm not sure if the students had more fun or if the staff had more fun, but it was a great event nonetheless. We also participated in a Highway 55 senior class fundraiser, and that was also well attended. We had about 70 people all in all, and that included our residential students, staff, ENCSD community members from previous years, as well as some board members. We're really excited to let everybody know that the EIPA, which is the interpreter's test that they have to pass to be an interpreter for education in the state of North Carolina, we have been approved to administer that test. So people who are wanting to become interpreters can come here and sign up and do that test. Our first offering is going to be December 5th, and then we have 2 additional offerings later in December. So this is really exciting because to become an interpreter, you do have to take this test. But the last one of our interpreters actually took the test in Texas, and another one took it in Atlanta. So there was nothing offered in the state of North Carolina, especially on the eastern side of the state. So it's a great opportunity to provide that service. We are also excited. We've had our American Reading Company curriculum since towards the latter part of the summer, but our media coordinator and her assistant basically barcoded over 100 books plus teacher books and so forth to get that ready for distribution. And our ELA teachers will actually be trained for PD on November 21st on how to use that curriculum, and we're excited to get that ready to implement. Okay. All right, I'm going to go on to the superintendent's report. We are pleased to announce that we accepted our 41st student today. He will be starting, if everything goes accordingly, right after Thanksgiving. We have another 4 applicants that we are reviewing their eligibility and setting up meetings for them. So there is a possibility that we could have 45 students prior to Christmas break. Okay, so this is from the academic. Thank you. So from the academic realm, we have our social worker, Jet Jones, has been taking 2 students each week to a local soup kitchen in Wilson. We also had a food drive that supported the soup kitchen as well. So our students were a big part of that, and it was successful. So we're excited to get them out in the community. We also have 1 student who has started driver's ed. Last year and the year before, we had a couple of students, but we're hoping to actually have a class here on campus where they'll do their online class, but then they'll have assistance with that, and then they'll do their driving time separately. So we're excited to be able to offer that service to our students, so that gives them more independence. We're also increased our bedrock instruction to 2 times per week, so the students are learning and improving their vocabulary as well as their ASL skills. We are also excited to be partnering with UNCG to welcome 2 student teachers to our campus, and they will be providing instruction and being mentored by one of our teachers. Okay, the next item is upcoming events and conferences. Shortly after this meeting is over, I will be heading to Greensboro to the North Carolina School Board Association conference for the remainder of the week, so I'm excited about that opportunity. We also have an EC conference next week. Rochelle Durden and myself, Rochelle is the EC coordinator, and we will be going back to Greensboro and participating as a vendor at the EC conference. So we're hoping to provide information to the district's EC folks, and hopefully continuing our partnership with a lot of them. We attended, I already said that about the state fair, career fair. Okay. We also had, when I talked a little bit earlier about the Career Expo, but we had a lot of interest in our HR consultant position as well as our business services coordinator. So we're excited about that. We had some applications and resumes with our CPC, internal auditor. We had a couple of teachers interested, as well as a couple people interested in the receptionist, but that business consultant position and the HR position definitely was the spotlight. Friday, we are having our fall festival, so parents are welcome to the campus, and we'd love to have some board members. If any of you have an opportunity to come out and Friday morning and participate, that would be wonderful. It proves to be an exciting morning. Our staff do a wonderful job providing decorations and games and activities for the students to really socialize and enjoy themselves. So please come out and support the students. The Signing Santa is scheduled for December 19th, and that'll take place from 9 to 11. And that also is a wonderful event for community and watching the students interact with the Signing Santa and Mrs. Claus is a great experience. The month of November, we started another ASL community class. The round started the first Tuesday of the month, and it'll go through the first week of December. We were excited. Last year, we had a ton of people participating, and each time you're just not sure how many is going to continue. But we actually had 40 participants for that first week, so we're really excited to offer that service to the community free. So again, that is on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7. Simone, do you want to come on down? Give your report.
That's the interpreter area. Don't get in the way of the interpreter. Okay, so Cheryl already spoke. My name is Simone. I'm the HR director here at ENCSD. Mrs. Inucci did already speak to in regards to the Career Expo that we had on Monday. That was ENCSD's first time attending a career fair, so we were very, very excited about that. We had a ton of resumes that we received. As she mentioned, 45 resumes that we received, and 65 total people that we spoke with at the career fair. So very exciting for us. We got some metrics today from OSHR. I have not been able to check my emails just yet, but I'm curious to see how many people did stop by and visit our booth. So I'll be sure to share that information with everybody once I get that feedback back. So we were pretty excited about that. Open enrollment was a great success for us this school year. We didn't have any issues there, so we've wrapped up that time. So information should be coming out shortly in regards to open enrollment. As you know, new cards will come out since we are now an independent school. So look out for that, and I'll also send out additional communication from OSHR as well. We have some new hires that have joined us and a promotional opportunity. So I'll talk about the promotional opportunity first. William Moody, who was our previous bus driver, who had filled in for Deborah Pierce, who retired in October. He has accepted that promotion as admin specialist, so he will now be our new director of transportation. So we'd like to congratulate Mr. Moody on that position. We also have a new bus driver, Angela Vick, who started with us last Monday under Mr. Moody, and we will also be welcoming another bus driver, Tanya Evans, who will be joining us on December the 1st. Along with new hires, we have finally been able to secure a data manager, replacing Mandy in her previous role to the school principal. So Mr. Kent, who is our school principal here, who is very excited to have Debbie Harris start with us. She's a very pleasant lady. I had the opportunity to meet her last week during the event that they had at Highway 55, which I was surprised to see so many of the staff there. I know I typically never get out of my office, so a lot of people were even surprised to see me there. But I did have the opportunity to meet Mrs. Harris at that event, so we're excited to bring her on board as well on December the 1st. I know Mr. Kent has been graciously waiting for her, so we're excited to have her here. We did hold some interviews last week for the receptionist position. A few interviews that we had. We are going to repost that position, so I will send out another email to staff. As you all know, I've been trying to let everyone know here first when we have positions available. So I will be sending out another email once that position is posted for interested applicants to apply. We also posted the maintenance tech 2 position as well. That's currently out there, and I think it's going to close within another two business days. So interested applicants can apply to that position as well. And that's all. I think that's all that I have. Thank you for your time.
This is Kevin.
Yes.
During your interview process, have you been emphasizing sign language? That is something that is encouraged, almost required for people to work here
Yes.
at the School for the Deaf?
Yes, that
Has
is
that
actually
been taken into consideration because we have staff and students who need to have access to that type of communication. And if they don't have access to that type of communication, then there's oppression that is happening. And we just want to make sure that that is something that is emphasized on the postings. Of the 45 people, do you know, maybe 10% of that? So what does that mean? 4 to 5 people that may sign. Maybe we'll have 4 or 5 people who can sign. So.
Okay, yes, and I do believe that I spoke to this previously, but I will reiterate this again. We do have what we call management preferences, because when it comes to classifications from OSHR, we cannot mandate that a person has ASL, but we can state that we do have a management preference that if you have ASL, it is preferred that we would like for you to apply for the position because we are a deaf school. However, there's a lot of legal guidelines or ramifications behind actually stating you have to have sign language to apply here, because the perception would be only a person who was able to sign is able to work here, and that's not the perception that they're trying to have. But we are able to, as a school, for our particular school, since we are a deaf school, to say management preference first would be those who have ASL, along with the rest of the minimum qualifications that they qualify for. Of the applications, Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that we received any from any DHH individuals, did we, while we were there? Absolutely, yes. And the good thing for us too, with it being our first one, it was a learning experience, definitely for us. And a lot of people, their first question when they approached our booth was, do you have to know sign to work at your school, or do you have to be deaf to work at your school? And so that was great information and knowledge for us, because now when we go back to another career fair, we'll have that information readily available. So even if it's not something that we're able to do for them for our school in the moment, the fact that we had so many people show up to inquire about ASL, what better way to get our name out there to say, well, we stopped past this booth and they actually gave us information on how to attend ASL classes or how to learn ASL classes. So that's great promoting for us. So we definitely took that lesson back after attending the career fair. So we're excited, hopefully, for another one to attend in the future. But we do list, as previously stated, we do list management preference. It's right under the minimum qualifications that we do. If you have ASL, that we consider you first after you meet the minimum qualifications. Does anyone else have any other questions? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Kevin, to say.
Unfortunately, Susan Pittman couldn't be here, so she won't be giving her business and finance report. But I will say that she has been working very diligently with DPI and figuring out the grant money that we receive for IDEA and Title II funding in terms of how we access those funds. And she was able to get the process set up. So that's taken a good bit of her time recently, but we're where we need to be in order to use that money. So we're pretty excited about that. Our maintenance, there's a lot of maintenance going on right now. We just did an abatement, and it's almost 90% completed in our maintenance garage. They're working on the plumbing, heater, fan, which is also known as a hot dog for those of you who are known for construction and everything. But that has to be taken out, so that's going to be a project. But that's pretty much the only thing that's left in that garage that needs to be done. They are actually in the process of repairing the roof on Vestal. The 2 fans had to be removed and capped for abatement. So the pre-construction meeting is actually being held right now as we're having this meeting to figure out exactly when the roof itself is going to be repaired. It looks like they're going to be starting the abatement tomorrow of that building. As you can see, the Massey stage for the auditorium here has been completed, and it looks great. So we're excited about that. We do have one concern, and that's those first row of seats there. If you notice, they are a lot narrower than the others. And so we're looking with the design team and trying to figure out how we got those smaller seats. So we're going to see if we can get those replaced with regular seating. The McAdams gym, they have started demolishing the old HVAC unit, and that's about 90% complete. They're going to be abating the pool area as well, and they are replacing all the plumbing under the gym. So it's a pretty large task that they've taken on, but it's going to look wonderful and be very user-friendly when we get started, when we finish that project. The sensory room in the high schools no longer needed at that level, so we have patched and repainted the room, and it's going to be completed this Friday, and we are going to use that space for testing so that we can get our testing done in a more timely manner. The sinks have all been replaced in the boys' first floor dormitory in McAdams. So we are replacing all the toilets and all the sinks, as well as a lot of the plumbing, because the plumbing that's in there is pretty old. And so we're hoping to get that dorm in better condition so that we can open it up next year. Our Vestal Middle School Science Room just received new flooring over the course of the last 2 days. That was the only classroom in Vestal that hadn't been completed yet, so that got done over the break. We have also refinished the restroom for the preschool classroom, and we've painted the rooms and the bathrooms in that area, and we are hoping to find a preschool teacher who can help us get that program off the ground. So if you know of a preschool teacher that would like to come on board, please have them apply. The North Carolina Collaboratory project application process ended last Friday. I had reported the last meeting that we had 2 applicants. A third one also joined, and that was ECU. So UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill, and ECU all applied for that $70,000 research project. And so North Carolina Collaboratory will review the applications and select one to work with us and do some research. ECU actually came and visited the campus last week before submitting the application, and they were really excited. In addition to working with us with the research project itself, they were really interested in partnering in other ways. So what they said was pretty exciting. So hopefully, we'll find out pretty soon which school will get it, and then we can build from there. But ECU, whether they get the reward or not, they still want to partner with us and provide some services and experiences for their students while they're providing services for us. So it was pretty exciting. The North Carolina Early Learning Sensory Support Program from birth to 3, all indications is that they will be transferring to ENCSD and NCSD on December 1. We'll probably get approximately 15 employees. They will provide services to DHH children within their homes or natural settings in their homes. We are looking to provide office space for them, but most of their work will be done on the road. That's it.
Thank you so much for all of that. And I know there's a lot going on, and I appreciate the work that the staff is doing to keep this school at the highest level as we possibly can make it. Jerry?
Mr. Chairman, if I may ask a question from you, Mrs. Iannucci. I had the opportunity to go Thursday to Spirit Night at Highway 55, and that was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. That place was packed with all deaf people, and everybody was signing, and it was just incredible. And I know we're getting a percentage of the total sales that night. Do you have any figures for us?
We do not have an exact figure yet. They're supposed to be bringing us a check. So we'll put that information out as soon as we know it.
This is Kevin. I have a question. Ms. Iannucci, it sounds like the number of students has increased. That is great news to us. And I'm curious, what do you attribute that increase to? Why is there an increase in number? Is it because of DPI or because of our outreach or advertisement? What is creating that increase? How are people learning about our school? If the reason why I ask is we need to expand upon that.
You are correct. We do. We are taking advantage of every opportunity to put information out there about the school. That started pretty much December 11th of last year when I took over. Just building relationships with the community, with the local schools. We started having Sally B, for instance, use our football field. They bring a different audience. They play other schools. So they're bringing, people to our campus for football, and they are seeing our campus and getting firsthand experience on what we can offer here. We also have presented with LEAs and shared information at a training and toured our campus with them. Just using every opportunity that we've had. We've boosted our postings on social media, and our staff do a wonderful job with the students each and every day. So the students have gone home and talked to other people that they know about their experiences here. And so it's just been, everybody kind of pulling together and letting people know what we have here at ENCSD and what we can offer the deaf community in terms of that socialization, learning ASL, and having access to that communication 100% of the time. In public schools, they may get an hour or two a day, or maybe even 2 days a week is what we're hearing in our admissions meeting. And just putting that information out there that parents can apply directly to the school, and that we go through the eligibility criteria to make sure that they meet our criteria for admissions. But it's just been, all boots on the ground trying to get the information out there about ENCSD.
Great, thank you. This is Sharon. Just have a short comment. Great information, Ms. Iannucci. You were talking about the fundraiser from Highway 55. What exactly do you plan to use that money for? Is it going to be student activities or what?
That money was actually, that whole activity was planned by our senior class. And so they will use that for their senior class trip. They'll use it for prom, various activities that they do. They do a senior breakfast towards the latter part of the year as well.
Great.
This is Dave Dahlman. Just a short question. So in terms of trying to recruit more deaf teachers, sign language users, et cetera, have you had any outreach to Gallaudet, to, the graduating classes or the education program at Gallaudet, which is going to have a lot of native signers, et cetera?
As DHH teachers in the state of North Carolina, I've actually started conversations with people that are involved in the licensure process at DPI. I participated in a licensure training not too long ago, and so I raised the question because, right now UNCG is the only college or university in the state of North Carolina that offers a DHH certification for teachers, and that program is filled. And we've had a couple of teachers who have wanted to complete that program, and it took over a year for one of them to enroll in classes. And another teacher that is waiting, she's been waiting probably about 6 to 8 months, and so she's still waiting to get into it. And so we need teachers, though, and there's no alternative. DHH is the only licensure area in the state of North Carolina that you can't just take a praxis test and get that certification. So you do have to go to school. And they've told us that it's not an option for our teachers to go to another state to get that program. So, it's really making it difficult in regards to, I believe, UNCG, we have quite a few of their recent graduates here with us already. I think there was only one last year that we did not get. And a couple years ago, we didn't get one, but now she's joined us. So we've made up for her not coming her first year out. But yeah, so it's definitely a challenge.
Having to have in-state licensure in deaf ed, plus I'm assuming also like a specific area such as elementary ed, et cetera. It's been going on for, well, I came in '87 and nothing has changed. So it's just so frustrating. But anyway, can't do anything about it.
I want to go back, Gary speaking, I want to go back to what Kevin said. Kevin, I know you keep up with it, but Facebook, whoever's doing that here, and our website, we had a big trunk or treat, which we've never had before. The creativity of this place is unbelievable. And then they had a lot of games and food and everything, and they absolutely wrapped the superintendent and made a ghost out of her. I hadn't even got home, and I went on Facebook, and it's 20 pictures. And so I can't help but these people, these parents who have deaf children in other schools, and they can't participate at all because they don't have sign language, and the parents in a lot of cases don't have it. To see that we've got so much normalcy here that, you know, it's just paying dividends in my opinion. So whoever that person is that does Facebook and does your web page, my congratulations to him. He's doing a great job.
Any other comments? Okay. And I agree with the work that the school is doing, but it's important that we recognize that it's not just the staff or the leadership of the school that make the school great. It's every person who walks through the gates of this campus. They're the ones who actually have to say the right things, to encourage others to come here, to be a student here, or the parents just to explore what's here. Because this is a great learning environment. It's going to get better, but we're moving in the right direction. I really appreciate all the things that Ms. Iannucci has said today about the things that's going on and the effort to make us have a great student population as well. All right, we're going to move on. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to public input. Oh, right here. What's it? Heather Hargrove. Is she here? You should come down.
Here. Hi. You want me to come up to the front? Where should I stand? This way? This way? Okay. Can I begin? Okay. I'm a little bit nervous. I do have a question. For teacher assistants, just for the assistants, we work our butts off every single day. And we would like to have just a little bit of a pay increase. Is there any way that you guys could help with that?
Well, this. Yeah, just we appreciate your comments first of all, but we're not prepared to answer that directly now, and there are legal process that we must go through, and I'm gonna let our lawyer just kind of make a few comments on that as well.
Nice to meet you. When it comes to pay increases, that will be something that the board would need to discuss and decide and look at budgets and things like that. But in public comment, we generally don't respond to questions, but we certainly take your concerns as the board will take your concerns and review those and think about what you said and decide whether they have any actions that they need to be taken. And those actions would always be taken transparently in front of the public unless it involves a confidential employee matter. But we certainly appreciate your input on that.
How how would you let us know that that was received?
It will be discussed in a board meeting, future board meeting, where we know the budget and know where the money is, and we recognize that almost all teachers throughout North Carolina needs to have increases in the pay structure. But we have to go by the funds available and the rules that we have to follow at this stage, okay? But we recognize it and we're aware of the situation as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
One of the things that I didn't include in the business and finance report, I didn't mention that the state of North Carolina has not approved their budget yet, and so we're still waiting on that. However, the mini bill that they passed not too long ago actually gave the teaching staff the increase in their steps, but that was just the additional pay that's already built into their step scale for the number of years that they've been teaching. So if they went from like their ninth year of teaching to their 10th year, they went up. But again, those teachers that have gone from 15 years to 25 years didn't get any. So we actually only had about 7 teachers that received a salary increase for their step increase. And so we are hoping that the state of North Carolina will see the importance of funding additional monies for educators as well as our teaching assistants, because the teaching assistants are a wonderful addition to the classrooms, and we definitely could not do what we do here without all of our TAs.
Okay, thank you.
There being no one else who signed up for comments, questions, we're going to move on to our new business, starting with the policy review team updates.
Kevin and Sharon, this is Sharon Lott. I have a question. Did anyone else sign up for public input? Maybe some people did not know the rule about signing up before the meeting started. Is there anyone else on the list? Is it too late for them to sign up? Maybe they didn't know ahead of time. This is Gary saying maybe we should have, there was a notebooks in front of the door where they could have signed in. This is Sharon. I'm sure people did not know, and they might feel that it's unfair that they did not have the chance to sign up because it was not explained prior to the meeting.
Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate what you're saying. And for the next time we do this, we will make sure that's clear up front.
Yes. Great. Thanks.
We're going to move ahead here. We're going to go through our policy, our new business, the policy updates, and then we're probably going to have a recess and then go into a closed session, but we'll track forward with what we have here with the policy reviews.
Okay. For our policy review team had our first meeting, and we were able to review our processes in terms of how we're going to move forward. And so we actually looked at a couple updates for some of our policies. We have 2 policies that have actually been approved by the board. However, we had to update a couple of them. One is the, the leave accrual and use. And so we had to add adverse weather and bereavement sections needed. And those The bereavement, we had guidance from DPI or from the state last year for all state agencies to consider including bereavement as one of the benefits. And so we did add bereavement to the policy, and that was basically adding 40 hours of possible leave for bereavement. So we'll need the board to go ahead and approve that as well. We also removed license 115C employees only from the section V8. And again, we have employees that are 115Cs and 126s, so it can get kind of challenging at times. Section VC, we changed 126 employees may use half or a full day to 126 employees must use a full day. And then we also added personal observance leave must be used within the calendar year from January 1 through December 31st. If it is not used, it will be forfeited. So that's your personal observation. Yes, 7510. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, let's see. One of the other ones was section VF. Remove this section completely. And then section 7 changed to all leave requests are made in the Fiori system. So they used to submit it on paper, and now they can just submit it in the system itself and save some trees. So this would be the first read of these changes. So just to make you aware of that, and we can approve that. You can approve that next time. Policy 3400, evaluation of student progress. We are, so that we can be in alignment with the public schools, when we were advertising EDAs, which is your educational development assistants, other people that are used to those positions being called teacher assistants had no idea what the position entailed. And so that we could market the position and hopefully get additional applicants, we decided to go ahead and change the EDA to a TA, which is a teacher's assistant. And it worked because we had 2 TA positions, and we were able to fill that before the school year started. And then change all references of NAVI to maps. We have done maps since for the last several years, and it gives a really good sample of what our students would be able to do on the end of the year test, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are. The state provided free of charge a test last year for the elementary and middle schools, and it was called NAVI. And NAVI wasn't very user friendly, and it didn't give you a lot of the same data. And with the fact that the maps provided better data, as well as it was a test that we could compare a student's growth within the last several years. So we decided to go ahead and keep the maps. We also had to pay additional funding for the NAVI and didn't feel that it was worth it this year based on the experience that we had last year. Once the program's tweaked a little bit, and if it's, continue to be developed, it may in the future be a better test, but right now we felt like it would be a better option to stay with the maps. And then the last one for policy 3400 is add section for missing work policy, which was created by our school improvement team, which is now our school leadership team. Okay, so we also have some policies, the policy 3400, which is evaluation of student progress, which I just mentioned those changes that would need to be made. So that'll be the board's first reading on that policy. Okay, so the other two policies are 4040, which is also 7310, and that is staff student relations policy. And then policy 4240, which is also 7312, student protection and mandated reporting policy. And so those will also be a first read for the board. I'm sorry, that's a second. All right, so our first reading is the 50, 27, 72, 75, weapons and explosives prohibited. Policy 4318, use of wireless communication devices. And policy 3061, remote learning. So those are all first reads.
The wireless communication is required to be adopted by January, so the board will need to make a decision on that one at the December meeting. Policy 4318.
those policies that were first read gave us the opportunity to read it first, and then the next time we meet, we will be voting on those policies and with any clarification that's needed. Just want you to be aware of the status of first read, second read. Given that we have covered the policies, we'll move on to capital projects we did, right? MOU with DPI. Is that?
Rachel Hitch speaking. We have been in communication, but the person at DPI who was working on the MOU has left. So we have one final, So we have one final phone call tomorrow, which should finalize your insurance memo with DPI, and that will absolutely be on for your vote in December. In the meantime, I've had a few conversations, and we'll also have a conversation tomorrow on the MOU with the Department of Administration to ensure that everything that you need covered there is addressed in that MOU, and I will bring that to you. I'll send it to Cheryl first, but I will bring that to you in December for a vote as well. You had also asked me to look into the possibility of an insurance review, and that is underway. We've collected the policies and taken a look at them to figure out whether there are any gaps in insurance for the school, the board, or your staff. And I'll have a report on that for you in December as well. But I have a memo on it now that I could share if the board cares to look at it. But I can bring you a final update on that in December. Thank you, sir.
So that covers our general questions. We're going to recess, and then we will come back after recess to go into a closed session. So the only people who should be here in the closed session are basically the board. So thank you. We'll take